One wonders whether after the events at the hospital he considered not coming, but he is here. He is stepping down the steps onto the soil of a country at war and will head straight to meet Benjamin Netanyahu. And those two have a lot to talk about. And Alistair, it's interesting, isn't it? He's come anyway. He's going to have these talks with Benjamin Netanyahu, but the trip was about a broader diplomacy, talks with King Abdullah of Jordan, Palestinian Authority, the Egyptians. I think he was going to talk to. It's not clear now, is it, that he will speak to them, or will he speak to them on the phone?
It's my understanding that I think he will try and have a conversation on the phone with Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian president, and King Abdullah, the Jordanian leader, who was due to host that meeting in Amman later today, but subsequently cancelled it after last night's events. So I think he'll have a phone conversation with them once he's finished here in Tel Aviv, perhaps when he's back aboard Air Force One and en route home. But that is no substitute for meeting in person. And so the cancellation of that meeting, I think literally as he was taking off last night, or if not, minutes after he did take off, well, that will, I'm sure, be a disappointment to Joe Biden, Antony Blinken, who is currently, or was, sorry, overnighting in Amman, and they would have wanted that meeting to happen. I mean, another just a quick side note on the diplomacy, but the American position here, they're without an ambassador here at the moment. The previous ambassador, Thomas Nides, left a few weeks ago. The proposed new US ambassador, Jack Lew, a very big figure in US politics in years past, has not yet been approved by Congress. But Stephanie Hallett, the US charge d'affaires here, who's effectively taken over as US ambassador in Israel for the time being, whilst there is that gap, is considered a very, very safe pair of hands. But I say it's a side note, but these are important figures when the Israelis and the Americans are working the diplomatic channels over time. They are the ones who will be trying to plug into the Israelis, trying to plug into the Palestinian leadership and others around the region. And so what we have seen working in parallel alongside Israel's military campaign in Gaza is America's diplomatic campaign in the Middle East. From Israel to Jordan to Qatar to Bahrain to Saudi Arabia to the UAE to Egypt, almost everybody has been brought into that diplomatic conversation with the Americans, with the exception of course, Iran. Although what the Americans will have done is they will have used channels like the Qataris to be able to convey messages and receive messages from players like the Iranians.